I'm going to meet 3 remarkable Australians whose lives are about to change forever. In country Victoria, a young girl is about to receive her first artificial hand.
Daddy, mine needs a highest.
That's it.
In Melbourne, a woman who's been deaf since birth will have her bionic ear switched on for the first time.
I want to hear close to how you hearing people are.
We're just going to switch on the device now.
I've never been in that situation though, but I don't know what I'm in for.
You ready?
And a returned soldier tries out one of the world's most advanced prosthetics.
Within 1 second of my incident, I knew that my legs weren't coming back.
I'm Dr. Nikki Stamp, and as a surgeon, I use artificial body parts to save lives almost every day.
She'll recover and feel so much better.
Woo-hoo-hoo! You're up there.
I'm going to show you how bionic technology is transforming lives around the world.
The thing that gets you the most is when you can see the word walk.
Wow.
You can actually rotate.
That is
It's a full
fantastic.
360. Yeah.
There's a whole new era of medicine on the horizon. As science continues to merge biology and technology, the possibilities are extraordinary. So extraordinary that the human race is on the cusp of a bionic revolution.
Just for you.
Since I was a child, I've wanted to mend broken bodies. I found my vocation in heart surgery when I saw how an artificial device could make someone better in an instant.
Good morning.
Morning, Dr. Stamp. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm well.
Yeah.
In a little under 3 hours, with an exquisite merging of technology with biology, this heart will be given a new lease of life.
It's really important that Suzanne gets a fresh new valve. It's going to alleviate a lot of the stress on her heart.
Even being able to perform this surgery relies on the beautiful synthesis of human and machine.
Okay, go on, thanks.
Okay, going on to bypass.
So we've connected woman and machine. There's no heartbeat. The work is being completely taken over by the bypass machine behind me.
So now it's out with the old
Pretty bad, pretty sick.
and in with the new.
And afterwards, her heart will be very thankful.
And this is what I love about my job.
Precision matters here. It's got to be in the exact right spot.
This careful merging of artificial body parts or bionics with human biology.
And then we're going to parachute it down into the heart.
I'm always struck by how readily the human body accepts the artificial part.
Meshes it in like it always meant to sit there.
Okay, and off bypass.
Thanks, team.
She may not think of it like this, but Suzanne has become bionic. She now has a biologically integrated artificial body part.
The sun's come out.
There's over 1 million Australians with artificial joints, and well over 500,000 who've had lens replacements for cataracts. There's such a huge variety, something for almost every area of our body. And when you look at the complexity of the human body, it's astounding to realise how much of it we can already replace. hands are such exquisite examples of evolution. It's hard to imagine we could ever come close to mimicking their dexterity. But that's exactly what's brought me to Berlin. I've come to meet someone with a remarkable computerised hand to see what might be possible as we merge biology with technology. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ken.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Thanks
Nice
for
to meet
meeting.
you.
We've come to talk about your hand. Bertolt has one of the most advanced bionic hands in the world. How are you powering this? How are you telling it what to do?
There's 2 electrodes that sit on the surface of the skin, and they pick up the electric signal from a muscle inside the arm.
When Bertolt moves that muscle, it relays electric signals to a microprocessor, which instructs the fingers to open or close.
What makes it special is that each finger is driven by its own motor, and the way this is set up, the fingers have built-in pressure sensors.
Those pressure sensors, combined with a powered rotating thumb, allow Bertolt to hold objects safely.
If you hold the glass like this, these 3 fingers sense that the glass is there and stop moving, whereas this finger, because it doesn't sense the glass, rotates underneath the glass. Something as simple as, holding a mobile phone, it gives a really natural grip around the object. The phone won't fall out. And that's the party trick. You can actually rotate.
That is
It's a full
fantastic.
360. Yeah.
But there's more than party tricks. This hand is made for the 21st century.
Modern touchscreens, they're not sensitive to pressure, but to the electrical current of the skin. There's a bit of an electrical current there so that you can actually operate a touchscreen with it. So usually when you wear a prosthesis, you're screwed because you can't use them.
And with its built-in Bluetooth app, even I can control Bertolt's hand. Wish I hadn't dropped German in high school because all these commands are in German, but...
If you just tap on one of them, there's index point, which is extremely useful for typing.
Try another one. I hadn't realised how much I take these everyday gestures for granted.
This is for operating a computer mouse.
100.
That's handshake.
That's amazing.
Being able to use a fork and knife, tie your shoelace. Being able to ride your bicycle, to hold the steering wheel when you drive the car.
The technological advances of the bionic hand have proved life-changing for Bertolt in other ways too.
Well, the stereotype towards people with disabilities in general is that they're not very capable of things.
Right.
And this technology can take away the stigma that is associated with disability.
And to prove the point, it's not long before Bertolt's hand starts to attract attention.
So it opens and closes and can rotate the wrist and it goes all the way. So that's my little superpower that I have.
But there's an awkward truth here. These superpowered bionics don't come cheap.
These devices are expensive. I mean, the system that I'm wearing, the hand, the socket, everything, it's about 50,000 euros.
So at the moment, that's about 80,000 Australian dollars.
It's expensive, but I mean, I'm privileged to live in a country where our public health service actually covers the cost of my prosthesis. But of course, that is more of an exception on a global scale. And that's really is the downside. We have this great technology, but we simply, can't give it to all the people who would profit from that.
It's undeniably the case that bionics built with this degree of sophistication are outside the reach of many. But there might be other ways of making them. Back in Australia, I've heard about a visionary engineer. He's coming at the same problem from a very different technology perspective. He works from his home 150 kilometres south of Melbourne, and I can't wait to meet him. Hi, Matt. Nice to meet you.
Oh, lovely to meet you too. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. So this is my workshop.
Oh, wow.
Welcome.
It's like the ultimate man cave.
Yeah. It's even got a beer fridge.
When engineer Matt Botel was retrenched from his job with a car manufacturer, he invested in some 3D printers and started designing affordable prosthetics.
What are you working on? I mean, because there's got to be the future,
Sure.
right?
So this is my latest design. I call it the kinetic hand.
The hand doesn't use any fancy electrics.
So they use the existing wrist movement that they have. So if they're born without fingers, to basically get the leverage on it to open and close the hand. So they can pick up things.
Okay.
Every part here is 3D printed, except for the braid which goes through and allows the fingers to open and close as tendons.
And here's the twist. A hand like this only costs around $8 to make.
The Velcro is probably the most expensive portion of it.
For Matt, using 3D printers has opened up a world of possibilities.
And this is for partial finger amputees. So if you've chopped off your finger, you're able to get full function back. And one of my friends in Japan was actually able to play the piano again, and it costs about 90 cents to make.
Oh my goodness.
Matt posted the design for his kinetic finger on the internet using open source software, so anyone can access it.
So I've estimated with the 1,000 downloads that it's had around the world, I've been able to save people about $6.5 million just from this one design.
Matt's passion is helping children.
So this is a $15,000 prosthetic arm that was made for a 6-year-old girl.
Really?
And the lead time to make this was so much so that by the time she got it, she'd almost grown out of it. And, she could only wear it for 6 months.
Matt lets children choose their own colours and design and gives the hands away for free.
So I have a lot of the children that I help up on the wall here, so I can sit back and remember why I'm doing it, because it's all for them.
And there's some amazing pictures here. We've got guitar players, superheroes.
Yeah.
They look so thrilled to have received it.
It's very emotional to see someone receive their hand for the first time.
Yeah.
And it gives me a lot of energy to continue doing what I'm doing.
Oh, that's fabulous.
And Matt's just finished off his latest 3D printed hand.
We're going to go up again.
Look! Mine's the highest!
Lois is 6 years old. She was born with only part of her left hand.
It feels like
A family friend put Lois's parents in touch with Matt, who offered to make her a prosthetic.
That's it. Hang in there. Don't pull on it.
Lois's family live in a rural area just half an hour away from Matt.
Hi, Jess, is it?
Yeah, it's
Hi,
Jess.
this is Lois.
Hello.
Hi, Lois, how are you?
Why are you so shy?
Exciting day.
Exciting day, isn't it?
It is a pretty exciting day.
So you haven't tried any other prosthetics to this point?
We haven't. We haven't really been exposed, maybe. We have been given attachments like she's got here today.
I need food.
Hey, Lois, what does that do? What does that do?
Help me do my eating.
Helps you do your eating. It holds on to your fork.
Here we go. Got it in there?
Really got to get it in there, don't you?
Yeah.
We were talking to Lois about it. We was like, do you really want this hand? Do you really want a new hand? And she said, oh, I really like my little hand. And we said to her, well, this could help you do things that you can't do so easily now.
Who's making you a hand?
Matt.
Matt's making you a hand.
The Matt who makes the hand.
The Matt who makes the hand. What are you most looking forward to doing with your new hand, Lois? Are you like bikes?
Then my hand slips off.
Yeah, but if you get a new hand, you'll be able to hold on to your bike, won't you? Very cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the great news is for Lois, to get her new hand, she only has to travel 30 kilometres down the road to Matt's house.
Welcome. Good to see you again. Hello, Lois. How are you? Good. You ready to get your new hand?
Yeah.
All right, let's go in. Please, come this way. I have something very special for you. Would you like it? There you go. This is what I've been making for the last few days, just for you. It's your blue and purple bunny hand. See, it's got a little bunny on there.
Goodness. That's awesome.
Would you like to try it on?
Show me the bunny.
This will make it feel nice and comfortable. Can you squeeze it into there? Just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this Velcro now. Just like that. Is that too tight or is that okay?
That's okay.
All right, now, if you're able to move your wrist, can you open and close the hand?
Look at you.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Pretty awesome.
Aren't you clever?
I'm just trying to think about what you can pick up.
Aren't you clever? I wonder if you can pick up something really heavy. See if you can lift it up and then put it down. So open your hand. Yeah. And move your wrist down.
That's so cool.
And then...
This is the first time in Lois's life she's been able to pass something from one hand to another.
That must be all really new. That's a new feeling, isn't it?
It's an emotional moment for the whole family.
As you get bigger and bigger, I can make you even better and better and better ones as well.
So cool.
You are so clever.
Close your hand.
Handshake.
Is that for me? Thank you. Thank you, Matt, for my hand. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. I'm going to put this on my on the wall in my workshop. Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
These are all plans that are available on the internet. They're open source.
Yes.
Why is that important to you?
I think as a society, we need to look after people that are disadvantaged or have disabilities or limb differences.
Yeah.
And that's why I set out on my mission to make them available to people all around the world.
Yeah.
You know, even if you charge $100 for a prosthetic,
Yeah.
you know, someone in a developing country wouldn't be able to afford that, even if it was $10, $20.
Where's the furthest you've sent one of your hands?
Iraq. Yeah, I sent one to a girl in Iraq.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it cost about $86 in postage to get it over there. And that was why I originally started a crowdfunding campaign to help me to pay for the postage because it started to get very expensive.
That's pretty spectacular.
I wasn't surprised to hear that Matt was awarded Victoria's Local Hero Award. I think he certainly deserves it.
From the moment we're born, we're bombarded with sensory stimuli. And it's the ability to sense these stimuli, sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch, that allows us to experience the world around us.
One of the biggest challenges in bionics is replicating those senses.
I feel a bit sad I don't have a rose. Tell me what that one smells like.
It's quite sweet.
It's wonderful to see kids exploring the world through their senses, experiencing the different textures and pressures needed to develop fine motor skills.
Can you feel it? Is it cold?
And discovering what foods are a pleasure to eat. Just like adults, they take delight in vibrant colours and sweet scents. And with a combination of sight, touch and sound, they interact with their playmates, make friends and feel a part of their community.
What can you hear?
I can hear it.
Yeah?
One of the reasons bionics is such an exciting field is that it brings together different scientific disciplines.
Right here in Australia, researchers have made an incredible breakthrough into how the brain decodes touch. They want to give people with prosthetic limbs the ability to feel.
To do that, they need to understand how our touch nerves talk to the brain.
Good morning.
Hi, Nikki, how are you?
Hi.
I'm Richard.
Richard, nice to meet you.
And if they can crack the code, it could make a real difference to people with artificial limbs.
Part of our project is to try and restore touch to amputees, so people who've lost a hand, and we would like them to feel through their hand again. So what we're doing is that we're actually on a fishing expedition. That's how we talk about it. There are about 20,000 different touch neurons in the hand, and what we have to do is just try and hook one of them.
They need to get under the skin and listen to the nervous system.
The nervous system actually talks using electricity. It's quite amazing.
Yeah.
So it's actually electrical signals that travel up and down your arm, and what we're doing is tapping into those signals and amplifying them.
They're trying to find a single microscopic cell amongst thousands.
There's not a single clear voice. It's like listening to a whole crowd talking. When we get just one neuron, we'll hear a very sharp popping, and it will be just in one particular part of the hand because it's just one neuron. We can hear sound, we can see on the screen there's activity.
We have single unit.
Oh, look at that, that's fantastic.
And this is a nice one, beauty, really nice.
They've located one of the most sensitive touch cells in the body.
Oh my goodness. It's like, it's a really small area.
It's so sensitive, it even responds to the lightest breath.
We very rarely see these ones. That's
this
fantastic.
is the most sensitive touch receptor which we have in our hands. Sensitive to movement less than 1/1000th of a millimeter.
I'm so impressed.
With the touch cell isolated, they can begin to record and decode the language sent from the nerve to the brain.
All they can do is a sort of Morse code. They just go pop, 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 pop. That's what their language sounds like.
Yeah.
But you put enough of them together and you produce us who can do all sorts of incredible things.
Oh, it's mind-blowing.
And what's truly significant here is that they can send the same touch sensations Heber felt
All right, ready for the stimulus?
Yep.
to me.
So can you feel that?
Yeah. Okay. Wow. It's very fine. It's very, it's very distinct. It's so strange that I'm sitting here feeling what she did on a different arm at a different time.
They hope to use this research to create prosthetic hands that can reproduce the sense of touch.
So I think once this technology becomes a reality for patients, it's going to mean a big difference. So what we hope is that they'll be able to feel through their limb and feel that sense of ownership of their limb again.
Fabulous.
While we've still got a way to go with replicating touch, there's another sense we've made great advances in understanding. Sound.
What do you feel like?
I might just have a hot chocolate.
Louise and Craig have travelled to the city for a life-changing hearing appointment.
We've been together for just over 25 years. We got married, had kids, and it's the Australian dream, I think, isn't it?
Louise has been unable to hear without hearing aids since birth.
I'm actually a lot better today.
Because it's
than
all
I have
happening.
been. Yeah,
You've been very anxious.
I have.
To understand her husband, Louise relies on hearing aids and lip reading.
It's too early for a beer. God knows I need one.
I was born with no hearing at all. I had my first hearing aid at 9 months old, and been wearing hearing aid ever since.
Over the last 5 years, Louise's hearing has declined so dramatically that even hearing aids are no longer effective.
And going out and with friends and stuff like that, she just misses things all the time, and it's getting her down. It gets me down too, but not as much as it gets her down.
But a bionic device might change all that.
Not long now, mate.
No. Put it starting.
Oh, geez, I hope it's good.
2 weeks ago, Louise had one of the most advanced bionic hearing devices in the world embedded deep within her left ear. And today's the day it's going to be switched on.
What do you think my first reaction will be?
Oh, God, I don't know.
I would like to just be able to hear. I want to hear close to how you hearing people are. But I don't know what I'm in for.
You know what I reckon your first reaction will be? You'll go, oh, shit.
Mine? What? When
That'll
I
be your
turn it up?
first reaction.
You know me too well. This life change for me, it's going to make it better or it's going to make it worse? I don't know.
Unlike hearing aids, which only amplify sound, the cochlear implant interacts directly with the brain. Sound picked up by an external microphone is processed and transmitted to an implant under the skin. From there, it's sent as electrical stimuli through the cochlea to the hearing nerve and then to the brain, where it's interpreted as sound.
Bad. That just sits well. Perfect.
This will be the first time Louise will hear speech without a hearing aid. But there's no guarantee her brain will decipher the sound signals.
Some people do hear speech straight away in a chipmunky sort of voice. Some people just hear the beeping and buzzing sound. It just takes their brain a little bit longer to interpret the signal. You ready? All right. You're on now, Louise. So you should be getting something.
It's buzzing.
It's buzzing, okay.
Like,
is it buzzing when...
It's like, I can't even hear you.
Yeah.
I can't even hear. It's very static.
Yep, yep. Okay.
Even with her hearing aids, Louise wasn't able to hear high-pitched sounds. So some of this stimulus is totally foreign to her.
So can you hear me or not?
No. I can't hear any.
Just noises?
I can't hear any vocal. It's just more, it's like a radio static.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a bit weird. It's very high pitchy.
What's happening is it's giving you a signal, but your brain doesn't know how to interpret it yet. So we've just got to keep stimulating it and get the brain to work out how to form some words with it. You haven't had the high-pitched sounds for quite a long time. It'll become a bit more normal with time.
It will settle down a little bit.
It will settle down.
Oh, I'm going to have a migraine by tonight.
Well, you knew this was going to happen. You knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, but not like this.
No, well, it's little steps, mate.
As long as you're hearing something and it's comfortable, that's really all I want from today. a bit loud.
Yeah.
We'll stop there.
You silly woman.
But the brain is such a quick learner that just a short while later, Louise has already noticed some improvement.
I'm happy now, because 10 minutes ago I was, nah, I hate this. But,
Yeah, you've changed.
I've actually got a smile on my
you've
face.
changed already, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'm doing the right thing.
It's called progress.
Pardon?
Progress.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's a good thing.
My journey so far into the world of bionics has been extraordinary. I've seen simple 3D printed hands that can transform millions of lives.
Oh my goodness.
The amazing interaction between a bionic ear and one's brain.
It's only going to get better from today.
And a bionic hand that can be controlled by a phone app.
100. So that's handshake.
But what's next in this bionic revolution? I'm at the fittingly named ARC Centre of Excellence for Electromaterials Science. In this Aladdin's cave of 3D printers and human stem cell engineering, some amazing stuff is happening.
Got some glasses for you.
Oh, thank you. These are great.
your eyes.
Yes, that's right.
Professor Gordon Wallace is one of the world leaders in the development of organic bionics.
All these great machines.
He's overseeing the creation of new methods of replacing and repairing human body tissues.
The ability to create these things we couldn't create before not only improves medical treatments,
Yes.
it enables medical treatments that we couldn't imagine before.
A prime example is this new surgical tool that can actually create bone cartilage.
So the BioPen is actually a handheld 3D printing device. It enables the surgeon to print directly into a defect in a knee, in this case.
This pen prints a gel laden with stem cells. They're one of the most exciting areas of biology because they can divide and become almost any cell in your body.
What sort of conditions do you think that this BioPen is actually going to help with?
Of sports injuries, and particularly injuries in younger people, whether that's through sports or trauma.
It can also help to slow the development of arthritis.
What other biological printers and pens are you working on?
So working with the Sydney Eye Bank, we've started to look at corneal regeneration.
This pen repairs damage to the eye caused by ulcers.
When I was a junior doctor, I used to work in the emergency departments, and we'd have people come and see us with ulcers in their eyes. We would just give them eye drops. But down the track, would someone else in that position be able to have the BioInk immediately put onto their eye?
Yes, that is definitely the vision for this application, is to be able to use it in emergency rooms.
Are we preventing blindness?
In a lot of the developing countries where this is not treated at all, I think that's correct.
I feel I'm getting a real glimpse into the future here.
There are a lot of ears here.
The ear is complex. It goes from soft to quite stiff, back to soft again. And how do we replicate that with 3D printing?
These prototypes, designed for children born without an external ear, are a complex marriage of stem cells, biogels, and scaffolds that might be a blueprint for a living ear.
How soon do you think we will be seeing this technology available in our hospitals?
The reason we're building these customised printers is not for them to stay here. The BioPen is at St Vincent's Hospital.
Wow.
This printer will be at the Royal Prince Alfred. The iFix pen is at the Sydney Eye Bank. And we really are using bionic principles in order to take these advances into patients very quickly.
I've always thought bionics was about mechanics and electronics, but I'm realising the next wave will be driven by this kind of science, and it's infinitely more adaptable.
Facilitate nerve and muscle regeneration.
I'm in London to see a really inspiring new area of bionic research.
The most common way of restoring mobility to someone with paralysis is still a wheelchair. But in the future, we might see people leave hospital on their feet.
I'm here to meet Simon Kindlysides, who's using a robot to do something pretty extraordinary.
Wow. Hello. Hi.
Hi, I'm Simon. Nice to meet you.
Simon, how are you going?
John.
Hi, I'm
Nice to meet
Nikki.
you.
Thank you for having us. Wow. What is this? What are we looking at?
So we basically have a walking robot.
Simon suffered a neurological condition. He thought he'd never walk again.
When did you first use this, Simon?
It would have been about a year after becoming a wheelchair user.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I heard of it because I've never heard of exoskeleton suits before.
Right.
And then just tried it.
What was that like for you? Was it emotional?
Yeah, it was very emotional. The thing that gets you the most is that you see on the screen when you select and when you can see the word walk and you know you're going to walk.
Oh my goodness.
That's just like, yeah, that's very humbling.
The computer-operated exoskeleton has a system of motors, levers and hydraulics, which allow the user to move forwards, backwards, sideways and even turn.
So to be able to stand up,
Yeah.
it's just something, you know, I'm 5'11", and it's eye level.
That's
when
right.
we talk.
For physio Jon Graham,
We can also do squats.
the suit is a dream for exercising dormant muscles.
It's like the kind of robot dance you do at the school disco.
It's a little more high tech.
While this suit is mainly used for rehab, Simon's keen to show me a lightweight suit that allows him to hit the streets.
Hello. Wow.
Pretty awesome, isn't it?
That's amazing.
This one can be used indoors and outdoors.
And it works a little bit like a Segway.
Okay.
And what Simon has to do is transfer his weight to the other side so the swinging leg can come through. So the crutches have got special supports for his hands, so that spreads the weight across a large area, so it allows you to walk quite a long distance comfortably.
You're not just letting the machines do the
No,
work
I have
for
to do
you.
all the work.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing.
Because if a person's not in it, then it initially won't work.
Yeah, right, wow.
And it's done by this watch. So
Oh, wow.
you select options, so you can go sit to stand,
Oh, wow.
stand to sit,
Yeah.
and walk a marathon in it as well.
Once Simon got his ability to walk back, there was no stopping him. Using this exoskeleton, he became the first paralysed man to complete the London Marathon on foot.
Come on, you've got this.
It took him 36 hours.
Well done, well done, well done. Hold it, Simon. Come on, baby. A little bit.
During training, you can do about 3.5 miles with one full battery.
Keep it going. Keep it strong. How are you feeling?
Exhausted,
Yeah.
happy, emotional. It was more like mentally tiring, standing up for, you know, when you've been paralysed for 5 years. During training, I'd only actually walked 3.5 miles
Wow.
with one battery. So I went from that straight to a full marathon, 26.2 miles.
So what does the future hold for you with your suit?
I want to climb a mountain.
Are you just going to go straight to Nepal, or are you going to start a bit lower?
Yeah, maybe with something in the UK. I would like to do Kilimanjaro, but we're just trying to stick to the UK to start with.
Yeah.
And it may not be too long before Simon's next dream comes true.
So, Jon, do you think that we're looking at a future where people come out of hospital after an injury or some other reason they're paralysed, walking as opposed to being in a wheelchair?
I think two things will happen. Those people that are seriously injured, who we thought may never walk again, will potentially walk out in one of these sorts of suits. And I think what we'll also find is, because these suits are great rehabilitation tools, they can actually benefit from that in the hospital environment and potentially walk out without a suit, just walk out.
That's amazing. That is absolutely extraordinary.
It was really remarkable to me to see this. Someone who has been paralysed regaining the ability to move again. I'm back home in Australia.
I'm in Melbourne to meet a man who believes he can teach me to move a robot arm with my mind. Now that's something I'd like to see.
The system calibration is done.
Dr. Stefan Harrer oversees a team that's training computers to read our minds.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nikki.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So this is the setup. This is the robot arm.
That's right. That's right over here.
It's that robotic device that Stefan believes I'll be able to control with thought alone.
And I'm ready to be the guinea pig.
Great,
Okay.
great. So let's get you set up. Let's get you set up.
All right, good.
I'll put you in Umar's trusted hands, who will put the electrodes on your brain.
First, I'm gonna mark some points on your head.
I don't think I've ever had anyone draw on my scalp before.
Umar is marking key locations for reading brain signals that are responsible for motor function or movement.
So those electrodes will measure my brain activity, the electricity in my brain.
That's right. Your brain, at any point in time, produces electrical activity when you think, when you do anything really, and that's what we want to measure here.
The electrodes will transmit my brain signals.
It'd be good to know I have a brain.
To a computer or brain-machine interface in front of me.
And these are your actual signals that are being produced in those parts of the brain right now where the electrodes are measuring.
Really?
So you're all set. You have the electrodes connected up there. The signals look good. I think you're ready to go.
And here's how the experiment works. The computer is the connection or interface between my brain, the robot arm, and a camera filming 3 objects on the table. My job is to mentally choose one of the 3 objects displayed on the screen in front of me. And then, if the computer can decode my brain signals, it'll tell the robot arm which object to pick up.
The objects are on the screen. So what you're going to do now is, once you see the object that you want the robot to pick up, you think about it real hard. You select it, you choose it. And once the robot knows that you want to pick up that object, it will figure out by itself on how to actually grasp that object and pick it up.
Okay, okay.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
Which object do you want to pick up?
I'm going to go with the red box.
All right, red box it is.
If I'm going to succeed, I need to think really hard when I see the red box in the target object window.
So I just think of my object.
You think of your object.
If I can do that, the artificial intelligence running complicated maths in the background will read my mind and send a signal to the robot arm to pick it up.
Very nerve-wracking. Oh my God!
You just pick that up with your thought.
Yes. Got it. That's so cool. Oh, Stefan, that was absolutely amazing. I thought about an object and then moved the robot arm with my mind to pick it up. How did that happen?
When you thought about it so hard, when you wanted to pick it up, you created very strong brain activity. We find patterns of meaning in that data. And we let an algorithm plow through that data and look for these patterns. Then we can use these patterns to feed into the robotic arm.
What makes this AI, or artificial intelligence, groundbreaking is that it's capable of learning.
The other piece of AI is where our robot over there has learned to see and interpret the scenery and actually figures out how to pick up that object.
So, Stefan, this is great, sitting in a lab doing this, and it's obviously really exciting. What are your biggest hopes for where this could take us? What are its applications, for example, in the future?
An application that one day might appear from this is, for example, to move artificial limbs through the power of thought. Another very exciting research project that we are running is to predict epileptic seizures before they strike in epilepsy patients. We have opened up an avenue here to interact with the human brain, that is completely and entirely new.
At every turn so far, I've seen things that have made me rethink bionics. From the generating of biological body parts,
a lot of ears here. Wow.
To the power of robotics to make someone walk again.
How are you feeling?
Exhausted, happy, emotional.
And I've been astounded to discover we can use brainwaves to control machines.
Yes.
But what I'm about to see next is something I thought only belonged in the realm of science fiction. From deep within these cryogenic vats, scientists are retrieving frozen stem cells and using them to create the most complex bioengineered body part imaginable.
So where do these stem cells in the vat come from?
So these stem cells are generated from what we call an adult cell. And that could be a cell taken from the skin of a donor, or perhaps even a blood cell. And they're reprogrammed back to a stem cell-like state.
Jeremy and his team are re-engineering regular cells into what's called pluripotent stem cells. Cells that can be turned into almost any living tissue in the body.
It's actually a bit like an embryonic stem cell. It can become any cell of the body, whether it be a neuron found in the brain, skin cell, bone, muscle.
With a combination of special nutrients and warmth, the stem cells are transformed into nerve cells. And when they're transplanted into this 3D printed scaffold, something amazing happens. These tiny specks are brain organoids, clusters of cells that have organised themselves into a miniature organ resembling a human brain.
So what we have here, Nikki, is a human brain organoid, otherwise known as a brain on a bench, a mini brain.
All of this has been grown from a piece of skin.
That's right.
Yeah, that is absolutely incredible.
The similarities to a human brain are astonishing.
We've got an outer structure that's lit up in green, and that indicates cells that are connecting together. And this is also known as grey matter. Now, underneath that, you can see another region, very much like what's known as the underlying white matter of the brain.
Is there any way of seeing that these cells are actually talking to each other, that they're functional, not just structural?
Yeah, there is. We've got here what's known as calcium imaging. You can see that there's a sequence of lighting up from one cell to another, which shows that they're actually connected and networked.
So we're actually seeing the way these neurons are firing here. These brain cells, they're talking to each other, they're sending messages.
That's right.
I'm already feeling a little unsettled by seeing these brain cells talk to each other, but there's more to come.
We have here a number of organoids connecting to each other via these neurite bundles.
These connections show the brain organoids are interacting.
And I call this the internet of organoids. And it really does look like an internet.
These mini brains, grown from a piece of skin, are in many ways as sophisticated as the brain of a 10-week-old human embryo.
So what does this actually mean, these organoids? What can they do for people for disease in the future?
We can generate an organoid with the disease that the patient has. So we can investigate dysfunction, the way it responds to drugs at the bench.
At the moment, they're just being used for research. But in the future, lab-grown tissue may be implanted directly into the brain to treat Parkinson's, epilepsy, or Alzheimer's. And I find that amazing. The fact that we're coming ever closer to not just using artificial parts, but to creating them from our own cells. It's clear the future of bionics is huge. Just like the human spirit that drives its progress and its use. Curtis McGrath epitomises that strength of human spirit.
So I had a bit of a bad day at work, you could say. In 2012, I was a combat engineer deployed to Afghanistan. And I was on a patrol and I stepped on an improvised explosive device and that exploded beneath me and took both my legs. So my legs were gone instantly. There wasn't much of a decision about it. It just happened. Within 1 second of my incident, I knew that my legs weren't coming back. Coming to terms with being a disabled person is one thing I struggled with a little bit because I was so active and because I was very fit and outdoorsy sort of person, and I thought that was all gone.
I'm lucky because this prosthetic is considered probably the most advanced prosthetic knee in the world currently. Having prosthetics like the ones I do allows me to just get on with it and, access the world.
Thanks to the constant evolution of technology, Curtis is about to try a new bionic that may improve that access even further.
It's exciting to try something new in the prosthetic world and a new development.
He's trialling a new computerised foot system.
Have a look at this.
Cool.
One of the first to be able to move and flex like that of a human foot.
Mm-hmm. And when you keep on going, how it allows that toe to
keep
drop
going
down.
Through. Yeah. There's a lot of promise and a lot of excitement in terms of what is possible with them.
Carefully take your first couple of steps. It's going to be very different to what you had before.
Feels smoother on the walk.
The way these bionic feet flex and absorb motion means Curtis can walk on uneven ground, something he hasn't been able to do comfortably until now.
Over time, I'll get more used to them and they'll be more natural in terms of how I move.
You'll never ever walk on carbon feet again after that.
Long, mate, nice and long, reaching out.
The prosthetics really helped me adapt to my sport and helped me progress into the elite side of it. I went off to Rio in 2016 and won a gold medal there and want to repeat that performance in Tokyo in 2020. Having that opportunity to go and compete, for my country, it really highlights that there's so much that I can do, and it actually displayed to me that there's actually not much that I can't do.
And that's what I've learned lies at the heart of this bionic revolution.
Yeah, we're going to take really good care of you, okay? Thank you. And I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
A human spirit that makes us strive to do better. Show me the bunny. To continue to search for new ways to merge biology and technology.
That's my little superpower that I have.
So that one day, we may restore health, mobility, and sensory awareness to all.
Right, and I just couldn't believe it. I actually broke down in tears because I was just shocked.
Could you take off your necklace? Very cool.